Okay, Mia, what is this in this cup?
An egg and vinegar.
An egg and vinegar. And what is it supposed to represent?
What sugar does to your tooth.
What sugar does to your teeth. So how long has the egg been in the vinegar?
6 hours.
6 hours. Okay, so this would be what would happen if you ate sugar and didn't brush your teeth, right? And you waited 6 hours. Is that what we're... Okay. So take the egg out.
No, this would just be if you never brush your teeth after you ate sugar.
Okay.
Ew.
Put it here. Put it on the plate.
You have a nasty
Okay.
tooth.
Now, feel of it. Ew. What does it feel like?
Ew. Feels like soggy Cheerios.
Soggy Cheerios. Okay, look at what it did. Look what it did to the egg. What did it do to the egg?
Yeah, that's what happens to your teeth.
I know. What did it do to it?
It made it. I don't know.
You just look at it. How does
Made it come off.
Right. It made it deteriorated the shell, didn't it? Here, use that and see. You can wipe it off. Okay. So, what did you learn from this experiment?
That if you eat sugar and you don't brush your teeth, then you're gonna have nasty teeth.
And it's going to deteriorate your teeth?
Yes.
Like that eggshell?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'd call that a successful experiment. So it was a brown egg, right, when we started?
Yes, and now it's white.
Mm. And he's coming out of ensemble, and we are headed home. So now we're getting ready to take a walk with the dog. We're a little bit apprehensive about this because we live in a city that doesn't always make sure that animals are on the leash here. The leash laws aren't obeyed for the most part in our city, so we're a little concerned that we might run into a dog that's not on a leash that might cause problems. So we've kind of held off on taking her out for a walk, but we're going to try it today and see how it goes.
I'm vlogging and Mom is walking the dog. Yep. Yeah.
You need to take a rest? Okay.
I'm ready to keep walking. Found an acorn. Let me see.
There's some right there too. A bunch over there.
See them?
Get them?
Got 4 of them. Bella's probably.
Are you almost home, Matilda?
Bella's probably being lazy.
Probably. She's too old to walk.
Yeah.
I hope everyone is having a great day. We have had a really good day, even though today is September the 11th, and we spent a good bit of our day discussing the events that happened 17 years ago on September the 11th. My younger 3 children were not alive when 9/11 happened. My older 2 were, but my younger 3 were not. And so every year at this time, we always have a lesson to commemorate the events of that day. And when the actual events occurred, I remember it like it was yesterday. And I know many of you probably do too. And maybe some of you watching this vlog weren't even alive yet or were too young to remember. But during that period of my life, I was a public school teacher. And I remember when the first plane hit the World Trade Center. And then we watched those events unfold. And it happened while I was working, while I was at school with my classroom of children, kindergarten children at the time. And I just remember the things that surrounded that event, that particular devastating time in history. But I also remember the events after the fact, the aftermath of that tragedy, and the face of our nation during that time, and the patriotism and the support and the pride for our country that followed that event. And so today it was a good opportunity to talk to my children about how the face of our nation has changed since 9/11 and since those events, and what we look like as a nation today and what we looked like as a nation then. And it was a great history lesson. My 6-year-old finally is at the point where she can understand a little bit of it. She watched a child version of the events, and then I elaborated to a point up to what I thought she could understand and what I thought she could assimilate. My 9-year-old's almost 10, and she has a pretty good grasp of the tragedy and the events that surrounded it. And then, of course, my 15-year-old is very well versed in September the 11th and what happened and what led up to that, and the events that unfolded after that. So it was a good lesson. We've had a great day. We took the dog for a walk, and our area where we live, we're getting ready to get lots of rain from Hurricane Florence that's coming. And I wanted to take a minute and tell everyone, if you're in the path of Hurricane Florence, we are praying for your safety. We're praying that if you need to get out, that you have and you've arrived at your destination safely, or if you are in the process of traveling, we're praying for safe travels for that. We're praying for all the first responders, the people that can't evacuate, the people that have to stay, and for your homes and your pets and your belongings, because I know how devastating hurricanes can be, and I know that they're scary, but know that our family is praying for you all. And so I wanted to share that, and then I wanted to jump over and talk about our homeschooling a little bit and what we have going on with that. In a previous vlog, let me throw this away. In a previous vlog, I had shared that I had assigned Witch of Blackbird Pond to my 15-year-old. We're getting ready to study the Salem witch trials, and I thought that would be a good introduction to it, and it was. But I did not remember ever reading that book. So I decided, I always try to read the book along with my children if I haven't read it before. And I did not remember reading that one. I read it in one night. It was fantastic. So if you haven't read The Witch of Blackbird Pond, I highly recommend it. And there's no witch in the book. She's not a witch. But if you want to, you can go back and look at a little of the backstory of the Salem witch trials and then read the book. But it was excellent. I really enjoyed it. So he is about halfway through that. My 9-year-old is almost finished with The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, and she's really enjoying that. And then we finished our living history book that went along with our Laura Ingalls Wilder series. The Little House books were on book 4. But we were also reading a living history book in conjunction with that, that gave more history, more accurate history of all the events that were going on in that time period. And just, it's a fascinating book, and we finished it today. And a friend allowed me to borrow that book, so I actually have it in my Amazon cart because we want a copy of our own. It was great. We liked it. So we finished that up. We have started a new series, the Rush Limbaugh History series, and it's really good. We're actually listening to the audio books for part of it, and then I have 2 of the hardback books that we're going to be reading in conjunction. But we didn't do that history today because I wanted to do a 9/11 lesson, and Mia asked to listen to the chapter in history because she wanted to find out what was happening. So it's entertaining. We've really enjoyed it. So I'm anxious to see what our opinion is of it when we get all the way through it. Hold on 1 second. Sorry about that, guys. I have kids that are playing out in the backyard because they want to get in as much outdoor time as they can before this band of rain hits. So that was the interruption there. I'm just going to wipe the table off and our chairs out while I'm talking to you guys. But I was speaking to you about homeschooling, and I just wanted to say that every year I find myself saying and finding so many things that I want to be able to share with my kids, and so many things that I want to cover and that we want to work on together as a family. And I have a wide range of ages with my children, and my older two children went to public school. My oldest daughter went all the way up through 6th grade, and my oldest son went up through 5th grade. And of course, by the time they would get home, and I was working full-time as a teacher, and by the time they would get home, we would get home, because they went to the school where I taught. By the time we would get home, get in, and get homework finished, there wasn't, and then if we were playing soccer or we had scouts or any kind of extracurricular activities, there really wasn't any time in the day to work on anything or study much of anything that we wanted to. That was dictated to us by whatever the school had the children working on at the time. So that's one of the many, many things that I so enjoy about homeschooling, is if I see that they have an interest in something, we can just explore it and learn about it to our heart's content. And it's a great opportunity for the children to learn how to be independent learners. And so now, if they have questions, I will tell them, I want you to go investigate that and then come back and tell me what you find out about it. And I have made many reporters, I think, because they really enjoy doing that. But every year I find myself sitting down, looking at the things that we need to cover and things that we want to cover. And every year, it's just more and more and more exciting, and more things that I want to share with them and teach them and introduce to them. And of course, in our house, there's a big focus on literature. I love to read. I grew up loving to read. That has carried on into my adult years. And then as a homeschooling parent, I just feel like literature is of vital importance to your school year. And so they learn so much through really good living history books. And so we spend lots of time in our homeschool day reading. We read independently. We read aloud together. We listen to some audiobooks. So just lots and lots of reading goes on during the day. So those are the books that we're reading right now. My book club is getting ready to start up. We're going to be reading Weapons of Mass Instruction. So I have some interest in that. I know I have 2 ladies at the minimum that are planning on coming. So I'm excited about getting that started and getting that going. So that's what we're doing right now. It's what our homeschool looks like. We did, I think I said earlier, we had an opportunity to get out, sit in the video, and take our puppy for a walk. She enjoyed that, and we enjoyed that, and it went well. We were a little bit worried about encountering other dogs that were not on leashes, but we didn't have much of a problem today, so that was good. So right now, for the rest of the week, tomorrow we have music lessons, and then we did find out today our list of classes for co-op. It seems as if the kids have gotten into the classes that they chose, so we're excited about that. That starts Friday. So we've had a really busy week, and as far as my menu plan and my grocery, I have not gone to the grocery store this week. I haven't had to, and that is very exciting because typically I have to go every single week. Now, I am running low on items. I've got a running grocery list here, but I do think that I'm not going to have to do a full grocery haul for this week. Now, by Friday, I'm going to need to go to the grocery store, but I still really don't need to do a full haul. So that's exciting. Of course, like I said, this week I pulled heavily from my freezer stash. But anyway, the freezer cooking and the big Costco run thus far has saved quite a bit of money. And I'm planning on making another trip to the discount bread store because I need to stock up on some items from there. But we're trucking right along. We've got a busy, busy week, and that's what it's looking like in our neck of the woods. So let me know how your week's going so far.